Hi, guys. I'm Bethany, your energetic bestie. So, I am going to share with you everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, I'll give you a little bit of backstory of how I learned all of this. Is through absolutely experiencing my worst traumatic event. Before 2020, I had no idea about energy, frequency, vibration. More or less, did I know anything about quantum mechanics, quantum physics, quantum entanglement? But through this magical person that has taught me and myself through healing of myself, I was able to connect and really expand out. So I'd like to share with you some of my awarenesses and how I got to become the best healed version of myself. All right, so in 2020, my only child, Kevin, was going to school for astrophysicist. And yes, brainiac. This kid absolutely studied everything, nerd. I mean, it's hard to believe he was my child because I was the type of person that I had addiction and had no idea, most of my life, just had no idea about any of this. So in 2020, my only child, Cabin, was killed in a car wreck. A car crossed over into his center lane, killing him instantly. Now, yeah, every time I speak on that, it's like right when I say that, my heart kind of like skips a beat. It doesn't matter how much healing you do, there's still that piece of void within my body that, you know, sometimes it's hard. It is hard to feel, not sometimes it is. So, anyway, the day of his funeral, I am absolutely struggling because I kept telling myself that I failed, that I have failed to protect him, that I blame myself. I was guilty. I shamed myself. I felt less than. I felt all the anger, rage. Um, but the day of the funeral, I'm in his room and I'm on my knees and I am asking God, God, please send me some kind of sign that Kevin's okay. I'm walking away from the burial. It's a cloudy day. My best friend of 37 years has my arm, and in that moment, she taps me on the arm and says, "Look, Bethany." In that moment, the clouds separated and a rainbow popped out. Yes, there was my sign. And I fell to my knees. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. That first year, I ride a street bike just like my son did. And I would get on the back of that street bike and I seriously thought about taking my street bike up to 135 miles an hour and wrapping myself around a tree would be easier and less painful, excuse me, than having to experience another day without my baby. And I meant it. But something interesting started to take place within the latter part of that first year. I started to receive downloads, that I had no idea where this information was coming, but something in my body told me to write it all down, and I did. And up until just a few months ago, I'd go back to that journal, and I mean, the information, the data in which I was receiving, yeah, it blew me away. But, you know, after that first year, I was sitting on the couch one day and I said, "Oh my God, I got to go get in the shower." So I did. I pulled back my shower curtain, and inside of my bathtub was a coins, nickel, dime, penny. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't shower with coins. I don't have them in my hands. I don't have them in my pockets. So I picked up this coin and it had my son's death year on it, 2020. Fast forward a few days, I'm getting out of bed. I make my bed as I normally do. And that night I come get in the bed and what I pull my sheets back and what do I find inside of my sheets? You got it. Coins. Still wasn't able to put it together. 2 weeks had passed. I vacuumed my whole house and I go put the vacuum cleaner up and I come back in on my freshly vacuumed floors What do I find? Yep, bingo, coins. Now, you know, these coins were not just there. I just vacuumed the floor. So I pick it up and it had my son's birth year on it, 2000. By this time, I was like, okay, this is crazy. Call my mom, told her what was going on. She said, oh my gosh, Bethany, your father and I were finding coins too. So I, she said, I think they're Kevin. I was like, what? I had no idea this was even possible. I run outside and I call out to Kevin, hey, Kevin, if this is you, man, hey, can you come to me like, maybe a bluebird or a redbird? Y'all, the very next day, everywhere I turned, and I mean everywhere I turned, I was being stalked by a blue jay or a cardinal. Everywhere I went. And so this I became so excited about the fact that, oh my gosh, this child is trying to communicate with you. So my son came to me in a dream and he explained to me how everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. He said, Mom, he called his body, his body is like a concrete, trying to wear concrete shoes in quicksand. He said, Mom, that is the most dense body I've ever been in. He said, but Mom, he said, when I was in my body, you and I vibrated on the same frequency, kind of like how how you see me and communicating. He said, but Mom, when I crossed back over and returned into spirit energy, my soul, I vibrate at a much higher rate. He said, I'm up here. He said, but Mom, you dropped because you were in grief, sorrow, anger, blame, shame, rage, fear, anxiety. Yeah. He said, Mom, do you see how hard it is for us to communicate? He said, you see the gap in that? Oh my gosh. He said, I can hardly communicate. We're going to have to do something about that. Go research it, Mom. So I did. Went and researched. Everything on this realm, everything on this 3D plane vibrates. Everything is energy. Everything is frequency. Every molecule has consciousness too. But it's interesting because guess where grief vibrates at? It vibrates at 75 hertz. Guess where sorrow vibrates at? Sorrow vibrates at 50 hertz. Guess where death vibrates at? 0 hertz. So you mean to tell me when I was in those what I call lower aspects of frequency, because I am vibrating right next to death, they're so low on the frequency scale, I am right up to death. Well, I had to go take a look at that. Well, we all as humans have an electromagnetic field. Your electromagnetic field precedes you 8 feet out in front of you, 360 degrees around you. You can't see it with the human eye because the human eye, we only see 3% of the light spectrum. So your electromagnetic field, when you are choosing to think, feel, and believe those lower aspects of frequency, your electromagnetic field collapses and constricts and restricts in on you, putting the body into fight or flight. Yeah. Guess what shows up if you choose that enough? Dis-ease. What? Excuse me? No wonder I was unable to start to feel and heal. I had to go in and take a conscious look at what it is I was choosing to think, feel, believe, and what kind of experience I was hoping and choosing to have. Because for me, my personal belief, I was not honoring my son's legacy by mourning. Because the thing about it, by me mourning him, I was cutting off access in communication from him. But guess what, guys? We weren't taught any of this stuff. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? I wonder if that could be by design. Because what Kevin has taught and told and showed me, he said, Mom, He said, you and I had a contract before you embodied. He said, I picked you and my dad to be my parents. We had a soul contract that we agreed upon that I was going to come in and be your son and have all the experiences in which we did. He said, but mom, you agreed and dad agreed to have this experience of death, of separation, of loss, of grievance for your soul's evolution, for growth. He said, but mom, here's the thing. When you embodied and came onto this realm, you forgot the contract. How fun would the test have been if you had known all the answers? And that's so true. That is so true. Yes, because everything is energy, everything is frequency, everything is vibration. And so Kevin really, really showed me and taught me, all right, what is healing? All right, so just like I told you about an electromagnetic field, guess what? Your thoughts carry a frequency. They vibrate. When you think a thought, you are putting it out into the quantum field. Yes, this is your antenna. And guess what your powerhouse is? And isn't it interesting that we've been told, taught, and made to believe that one of the greatest pieces of technology that this world and this realm has ever had, you are walking around with it every day of your life and you are unaware of it. What would you think that would be? We've been told, taught, and may believe that our greatest piece of technology is nothing more than an organ pumping blood through our body. Ha! Yeah, it does that. But guess what? Your heart has more power inside of it, electrical charge than a bolt of lightning. You are walking around here more powerful, more electrical than a bolt of lightning, and you think it's nothing. Huh? Yeah. Connecting, paying attention to what it is you think, because what you think about, you bring about. What you bring about, you're going to experience, right? So, paying attention, gaining awareness of your thought process. Because what is the insanity? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. How many of us are being insane? Oh, I sure wish that I could, I don't know why my husband and everybody's being so mean. If you want to see a change, you have to be the change in which you wish to see. Yeah. So here is a little something for you to connect with to start being a creator of your reality. And let's drop out of the victimhood because once you really understand and know, sense, feel, and believe that you are the most powerful creator being in your reality, you are no longer a victim and therefore you are the most powerful being. So paying attention to the mindset. All right, when you catch a thought that you really don't really wish to think, feel, and believe, shut it down. Be observer of it. Okay, yeah. What do you do now? Once your mind is quiet, what is the next key? Ha! Drop into that heart, baby. What do you do when you drop into your heart? Dropping into your heart gains presence. And what do you have when you have presence? You have a chance to respond to your reality. What is the difference between reacting and responding? Reacting is the same thing that you've always done, being insane, hoping for a different outcome. Responding is presence, where you are aware, where you have choice in what it is you choose to think, feel. Yeah. Taking ownership of your own mental body and emotional body is the greatest gift that you can give yourself right here and right now. Yeah. Knowing thyself. I tend to believe that I came here to know thyself. And what better way to know thyself? That is the human experience to know thyself so you can be the creator of your reality. And you are so powerful that you get to create along with your source, your creator, your God, and absolutely thrive and vibe. There's nothing out here anybody's doing to you, withholding from you. You create it all. You get to experience it all. You're the writer, the director, the actor, all of it. And a bag of chips. Yes. Yeah. Knowing that you have that kind of power. But here's the thing that we have a lot of energetic residue inside of our electromagnetic field. Yeah, that part. So I would like to for today do a little energetic clearing. My name, like I said, before I do this, because um, when you experience this clearing, the body can only receive so much healing at one time. And I'm gonna tell you where you can get a hold of me. And yeah, I would love to work with any of you that would love to step into that powerhouse in which you are. All right. All right. So, first and foremost, I'd like for you to take a really big, deep breath in. You ready? All right. Let's go. Big, deep breath in. Any energy that aligns and reacts, resists and reacts, contracts to the frequency of worry, doubt, anxiety, of being judged, of being seen, being known, and being heard. Yeah, that part. Any oath, bond, contract, and agreement that has kept you from playing small, or in fear of moving forward. Anywhere that you agree to the conditions, requirements, projections of being not enough and less than. Any energetic structure, emotional charge, or nervous system reaction. All right. We're going to cancel, cut, and clear in all space, place, time, dimension, density, reality, parallel reality, omniverse, multiverse, universe, out on three, and it leaves. You ready? One, two, three. Mm, yeah. Yeah. Can you feel that? Time to say goodbye to that energy that no longer is serving you, that is keeping you in the mental pain looping, storytelling, all of the lies, all of the stuckness, all of the bullshit that and there it's energetic. Any hooks, lines, tethers that is keeping you locked, blocked, and stopped. We're going to cancel, cut, and clear out on three, and it leaves. One, two, three. All right, we got one last one, and this one's going to be a good one. All right. All right, guys. Big deep breath in. Any energy I'm calling up, an emotional thoughts process, pattern, frequency that does not belong to you. Yeah. That you have been carrying around consciously or unconsciously. Any energy picked up from others, medias, conversations, timelines, expectations. We're going to command and demand the withdrawal. Yes, that bring forth the mental pain looping, storytelling, astral imprints, the cellular memories that keep you disconnected from the heart and the higher states of awareness. We're going to cancel, cut, and clear in all space, place, time, dimension, density, reality, parallel reality, omniverse, multiverse, universe, out on the arena leaves. One, two, three. Yeah, yeah, that right there. And after your body, after what you just experienced, your body may um, ask for water, salt, sugar. Be sure to hydrate. And because your molecules, after those clearings, yeah, the molecules will go click, 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 because we cleared in all space, place, time, dimension, density. So, yeah. And guess what? What type of hue man are you? And what is a hue? A hue is a fractal piece of light. So, what type of hue man are you? Are you operating in lower aspects of frequency of blame, shame, guilt, less than, not enough? Or are you ready to step in and be that divine creator being where you expand out, where you allow more energy, where you allow more light into your body and you start to thrive and vibe? And guess what? The highest frequency there is gratefulness right next to godliness. And I'm going to tell you what, authenticity is right up there with it, vibrating at 900 hertz. All right. I'm Bethany, your energetic bestie. You can follow me on all of the social medias at B, like a bumblebee, Be Limitless Now, or you can go to my website at Be Limitless Now, and you can click and get a 30-minute free discovery call with me, and we can go in and clear in all space, place, time some of the energetics loops and tethers that you have in your field. All right, till next time, toot toot. Bye.